Hey everyone, it's Route to Reality here. Today I just wanted to talk about the current dating crisis and how it's gotten so bad. So I'm currently located in New York City, and it sucks here dating as a man. If you live in New York City, you already know that these women are already carrying themselves like men, and they're come with this mean spirited attitude. These girls be saying, suck my dick, what the fuck is you talking about, and all that. Well, they don't even have one. Like, come on. But let's not entertain the foolishness, right? But I wanted to talk about this on a broader level and how shitty it's gotten all around the country. I remember how dating was in my teenage years, and to be honest, it wasn't really the best. I would cold approach multiple women at the malls and even Times Square, to which a few women had nasty attitudes off the rip, and my main objective then was just getting a relationship, but that didn't even go well. And I didn't even know better back then. I ended up learning the truth through multiple failures in pursuing the women I liked. A notable one I can mention is that arcade date that still fucked my head up to this day. I also had this unhealthy one-night obsession with my middle school crush. She was light skinned, pretty teeth, Asian like eyes. And I'm not gonna hold you, that didn't go well too. Let me put you guys on, right? I remember seeing my crush in an Instagram story for one of my female acquaintances back in 2021. That's when my crush came back from Guyana, and she didn't have an Instagram account at the time. So I DM'd my acquaintance for the number, and she gave me it within a few hours. Then I didn't waste any time as I texted my crush, and things went smooth. It was a calm conversation up until I got left undelivered. Then I waited a few months later to text her when the year was transitioning to 2022, and then the conversation went dry again. She created an Instagram in 2023, and I happened to follow her right when she popped up in my recommended. And I didn't even get a follow back up until I started traveling and showing off my lifestyle. Up to this day, she's been keeping tabs on me, never really missing any of my Instagram stories that I post. Recently, I tried to make a few attempts to get her attention back, and it didn't work. That's when I knew it was out the window, because I can't keep making myself look bad chasing someone that's getting fucked out by another guy. But a sip of me still says, like, I want to link her in person and show her that I could love her better and dig her out better, you know what I mean? Like, real shit. Never would I think in a million years that the dating scene would get to the point where men are just checking out and going to these communities, like the red pill, black pill communities and shit like that. And I see these things specifically in the black pill community talking about you need looks and height and status to bag a girl, to which they're right, but the result will still become the same once you get in the door. I'm 6'5", not to brag and shit like that, but I'm not a bad looking person either. Bitches actually give me a chance here in New York. But it's not really the bitches that I really, really want. Like, let me put y'all, let me explain y'all to this, right? You know how they got the super, super baddies, and then they got the really, really mid shits, and you got the women that's already with baggage and shit. So I'm getting the mid shits that isn't bagged up yet by some ain't shit kind of dude. Then you got the single mothers, they already coming back in the field because they realized they made a bad choice. They wasn't thinking right. They was thinking with emotions and shit. So they're going to try to spin back the block. Hell no, we put in a pause to that. You better make a U-turn and get the fuck out of my face. So yeah, it's like my issue is I'm not able to keep the women that I really, really want for a long time, right? So let me put you on. So I basically followed a random girl out the blue that I found attractive on my Instagram. To my surprise, she followed me back, and I decided to hop in the DMs, put in a simple hey message. But I ended up getting left undelivered for like a day, and she had the nerve to post a regular show meme of Mordecai and Margaret kissing. In my head, I'm like, bitch, you already blocked your blessing by not answering the DM. But these girls don't see it that way. They see it as, oh, here comes another option. I'm going to put him on hold for my ideal man, and it's frustrating. And my Instagram account is not one of those lame pages with barely any posts. I have like a lot of highlights showcasing, me going on trips and shit like that. And I got like 4 posts on my Instagram page, to which I'll reveal later, once this channel blow up. But until then, my content might remain faceless, and my Instagram, I'm gonna keep that private. Speaking of social media, it definitely changed everything. The same girl who would have been excited about that one guy back in the 90s now has over 50 guys in her inbox at the same time. So the value of one solid man gets diluted off the rip, because the men today are disposable, and they're just another option to these women. That's why a handful of dudes like me are frustrated at this bullshit. Because either when you check all the boxes in the criteria, the women act like they could do better. So that comes with women looking down on the actual hardworking men with a 9 to 5 that contribute to society. And specifically for us black men in the black community, the women look down on us the hardest if we're not subjected to a certain stereotype like being a gangbanger or a scammer due to the programming that they see on social media. And it's just stupid considering I know a few guys that changed their whole lifestyle for women. And you should never throw your morals under the bus from no woman. I don't give a single flying fuck. And if you change yourself for a woman that you met on a dating app, let's just say like Tinder, Bumble, or Hinge, you better revert back to your old ways, because that 9 times out of 10, that shorty is there for a good time, not a long time. You get what I'm saying? And I don't even fuck with the dating apps. If you watch my previous video about the worst ghosting experience, you know I drove to a college to one of these girls, dorms and shit. I was thinking I was going to get laid that night, but I turned out to get nothing in return because her friend was already in the room and shit. So I'm like, all right, cool, this is going nowhere. Let me get the fuck out. And I meant to elaborate that on my previous video, but I didn't want to get off topic with that shit. You feel me? But yeah, like dating in America just doesn't seem right, especially in today's age and economy. It definitely don't seem right. You already got inflation and the wholeflation, right? Where the man got to do more while the quality of the woman is decreasing. That's exactly what's happening in America. You're trying more harder, and you don't even know if the cat is going to be good or not. But if you're that desperate to get laid, you could just go ahead and pay an escort within your local region, or just go to backpage.com or something. Not that I know, not that I'm advertising, that bullshit, but hey, that's the only way to escape the dog and pony show. I know for this past decade, you had the passport bros movement. They was going strong for a little while, but it's getting quiet a little bit now. They're cracking down on this. The foreigners, they don't really like us. I see some men settle in for traditionalism, like they go to these women in these countries, just to find their traditional values and stuff. But I'm always saying female nature is all one and the same. I've been to countries like Colombia and Dominican Republic, and the women, they're picking up on these Western influences, so they're acting like these girls that are in America or in the UK and shit, just not just more humble or shit like that. But if you're out there, steady traveling to those countries, I'd suggest you to be safe, because those girls are definitely on a mission. They definitely trying to drug you, rob you, and shit like that. Especially in Colombia, there's a lot of shiesty women out there, so definitely watch out for them if you're ever planning a trip out there. And before I finish this video, don't ever let no woman look down on you. Social media is not real life. In real life, you are the shit. You are the king. Don't let no woman tell you different because her pussy's getting stretched out by 50 other niggas in the staircase or some shit like that, or in a B&B, and don't ever chase any validation from them anymore. I learned that the hard way. That was my harsh reality. They'll play with you when you're down, or you don't have something, or you have no social proof or something like that. But, once I get this channel rolling, once I start posting the fruits of my labor on my Instagram page, and once I really show what I've been building, watch how fast they're going to circle back. All the women that curve me, watch how fast they're going to circle back. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And that's the sad part. It's like the saying goes, back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they're all on me. And that right there, that's why dating has never been so bad like this. Because it's not about connection anymore. It's just about clout, lifestyle, and the image. And honestly, I don't know if the dating scene is going to get better anytime soon. I'm just keeping it a stack. Like back then, dates used to be so simple, like going to the park, picnic dates and stuff like that. Nowadays, these girls want to go to Nobu. They want to see you pull up in a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW car. I got a BMW, like a 740, but I don't want to pull up in that all the time. Like, I want to know what the woman's going to be actually loyal to me instead of what I got and shit like that. But, it's rare for that to really happen. Unless you clip it really good, then she might just probably stay. But if not, if your shit trash, then she definitely leaving to the next guy. As I said before, I definitely got some play, but, it's just not the woman that I actually want, I do have a preference. I refuse to settle for some lame shit or some shit with baggage, because I had those encounters before. It's like, it's nothing special about that. If it's not the woman you want, if it's not the woman you see on TV, it's like, what is the point? What is so special about the mid shit and the shit with baggage? Come on. We're not doing that. And not to be on some blade shit, I do see some good looking guys, they be settling for these trash ass women, like some mid looking women. And they don't even be with them for their looks. It's just mainly for survival and stuff like that, for what they really got. Because some of these guys, they don't even be working in my city and stuff like that. And the woman is really the breadwinner. I don't know how some guys do it, how some guys get through clipping some nasty works, but I can't do it, bro. I'm sorry. It gotta be some fine looking shit. I'm not entitled to a bad bitch, but yo, come on. It's like they barely come around because, they're just so disinterested. Like, you try to tell them hi or yo, what's good, ma, shit like that. They kind of look at you in a way, especially in New York City. And New York City women are the worst today. I'm telling you, from the Caribbean women to the Hispanic women, like, they're all the same, bro. I'm telling you, bro, once they get that New York attitude in them and shit, it's just clipped. It's raps for that. I ain't gonna lie, all that shit is a dub, you feel me? But yeah, if you found this video entertaining or you liked it, you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, as I will be posting more, posting frequently on a frequent basis and stuff. We're only going up from there. So thanks for watching this video, and as always, stay sharp.